You come first. One of the greatest things you could ever do in this life is investing into yourself and pouring into your own cup. Your body is the greatest instrument you will ever have. And if you want to build your dream life, if you want to become the best version of yourself, or simply have a better human life experience, it starts with pouring into your own cup. And I'm here to tell you that you are not a snack, you are a 4-course meal. And if anybody else has told you otherwise, screw them. Who cares what they think? What truly matters is what you think of yourself. It doesn't matter what other people think. What truly matters is what you think of yourself and how you see yourself, because how you see yourself truly matters. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis. My first name is Sara, and if you could pronounce that, you could call me by my first name. I'm picky about my first name. So it's Sara with a R, not a H. It doesn't end with an H. It's Sara, not Sarah. So I'm picky about that. Today, we will be talking about the art of practicing self-love and why investing into yourself is so important. Sorry, there's flies. Maybe you found this video because you want to know or learn how to practice more self-love. Maybe self-love is foreign to you. Maybe you grew up with other people that didn't really invest into themselves or poured into their own cup, so you don't know where to start. Or maybe you're stuck, you don't know which way to go, you don't know what to pursue, you don't know which direction to go towards to. And if that sounds like you, I think one of the best places to start with is yourself. Because when you start practicing more self-love, the relationship you have towards yourself becomes even stronger. You become more connected to who you are, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, what you hate, what you love, what you just don't resonate with, and what you do resonate with. And I think that's very, very important, because once you start to realize and better understand yourself, everything else becomes a lot clearer. You start to know yourself at a deeper level. You stop second guessing yourself. You stop needing validation from other people, and you start trusting yourself. Because when you strengthen that relationship with yourself, you have a better idea of who you want to become. And that little voice in your head that's saying, am I worthy of love? Can I actually do this? Am I capable of doing this? That little voice starts to get smaller and smaller over time. And you start trusting yourself. And I'm here to remind you that you are worthy and that you are capable of whatever you put your mind to. And if you don't believe that right now, that's okay. It's going to take time, because self-love isn't just something that happens overnight. It's a practice. And with practice and more practice, it becomes stronger and stronger. And the more you practice it, you'll start to notice the change in yourself. You'll see yourself growing, evolving, and you start to see a lot of change. And change is good. Change means growth. So if you want to improve your life, deepen your relationship with yourself, or just get a better understanding of why self-love is so important, then keep watching. So let's dive into it. In this world, there is good and there is bad. In indigenous Aztec and Mayan culture, there is the unapgu, which is the good and the bad. That is the duality of life. Just like the yin and yang, there is good and there is bad. But within the good and the bad, there is also good in the bad and bad in the good. Just because you've experienced bad things in your life, just because you didn't have the best childhood, that doesn't mean you're going to be shaped into a bad person. However, everyone in this world will at some point experience bad in their life. That is just the laws of the universe. There's going to be bad things that happen to you, and there's going to be good things that happen to you. Now, it's ultimately up to you how you're going to take that. You can either take that bad experience and allow that to shape you into a bad person and add more negativity into the world, or you can learn from that bad experience, allow that to shape you into a better version of yourself, learn from that, and want to add more positivity to the world. I'm pretty positive that nobody wants a bad life experience. I'm pretty sure that 99.9% of people, they want to live a good life. I know I do. And if you want to be miserable, then that's on you. The more self-love you have towards yourself, the better your life will become. And I'm not saying that a good life will only entail good things. You're going to experience bad things. Bad things will happen. You're going to struggle. You're going to experience grief. You're going to have ups and downs, and that is part of life. And I think that's something very, very beautiful to experience, because if you've experienced bad things in this lifetime, that means you have lived. Some souls on this earth didn't even get the chance to experience that first heartbreak. You're going to experience bad things. It's just a matter of how you're going to bounce back from it. I love self love because with self love, it will literally make your dreams come true. We all have dreams, whether we know it or not, or whether we ignored it. At some point in our life, we all had dreams, or we still have dreams. And the more we have self love towards ourselves, the more we're going to work towards our goals. Self love will build your confidence. It will make you believe that you are worthy of love and everyone deserves love. If you want a loving relationship, and if that is one of your goals, that love starts within. In order for you to receive love, you must have self love towards yourself. The amount of self love you have towards yourself is directly correlated to the amount of love you think you deserve. So if you think you are not worthy, you're going to allow yourself to be in a bad and toxic relationship. I'm going to put my hair up. You're going to build a loving and healthy family. You're going to build the physique you've always wanted. If you have a dream body, you're going to go after it because of the amount of self-love you have towards yourself. You're going to work towards a career that you love and that you have a passion for and that you're aligned with, versus settling for less and working in a job that you hate and you're miserable in. And lastly, the more self-love you have towards yourself, the closer you are going to get to your goals. The art of practicing self-love will build your confidence, and having confidence is so attractive. And when your confidence goes up, you're going to get that much further in your life. I mentioned this earlier, but self-love strengthens the relationship you have with yourself. And the reason why I say that you're going to get that much further in life, the more confidence you have, is because you're going to be confident enough to do something, to go after that goal, to go after that relationship, to go after or pursue that career, because you're confident enough that you're capable of doing whatever it is you want to do. And I recently heard something, and it goes like this. Her name is Em on the Brain, and she talks a lot about mindset shifts and how usually we are our number one limiting factor. And the saying goes like this: doubt is a self-limiting prophecy. That's entirely true, because doubt can really eat you up. Doubt can stop you from going after your goals. We all experience fear differently. The way I experience fear is different than you. You may have different fears than I do. One thing we all have in common is there's two groups. There's one group that faces their fears, and the other group are the ones that run entirely away from their fears and they don't face them. The more you practice self-love, the more your confidence goes up. And the more your confidence goes up, the more you're going to face your fears. Like, you can be shy, scared, unsure, worried, not sure how it's going to go, but still be confident enough to at least try. I think that's so important, to at least try. If you have a goal or a dream, but you're worried it's not going to work out, it's okay if it doesn't work out, as long as you tried. Because if you go X amount of years without trying, and so much time has passed by, there's a high chance that you're going to look back and regret never giving that thing a shot. Most likely you're going to take that to your deathbed. And I much rather give something a try or give it a shot than never trying at all and regretting it later on in my life. The worst thing that can happen is that you fail. But there's also beauty in failing, because that means you at least tried. And some people don't even get to the point of trying. That sounded a little harsh when I said that you might take it to your deathbed, but it's true. Why do you think older people, seniors, eventually they stop caring? Because they realize like there's no point of caring what other people think. It's their life. They get to do what they want to do, and you're your number one limiting factor. And having confidence doesn't mean that you know how things are going to work out. You actually truly don't know how it's going to look on the other side when you give that thing a shot. But it's a mentality of thinking, okay, I have no idea if this is going to work out, but I know I really want this, so I'm going to give it a shot and we're going to take it from there. Self-love is so important because your confidence will go up and you're going to go after whatever it is that you want. With the art of practicing self-love, the more you will think that you are worthy of love. So let's talk about love and relationships. Everyone has different angles on love and relationships. Some people want a loving partner. Some people don't want a loving partner. Whatever it is that you want, as long as it resonates with you. However, for you to exist, two people had to come together for you to exist. Regardless, we are all wired for human connection. It is in our DNA to connect with others, and we're just built that way. Some of us are more affectionate than others. However, it's part of our DNA because we all deserve love in one way, shape, or form. That can be love from a partner, a sister, a parent, a grandparent, a friend. And believe it or not, a big part of healing is community. And I think it's really important to be surrounded by a community that cares for us and vice versa. Practicing self-love will allow your sense of worth to go up. So the more that you believe that you are worthy, the easier it becomes for you to recognize whether a relationship is serving you or not. You're going to be able to ask yourself and recognize, is this relationship good for me? Is this toxic? Is this doing me harm? Am I being valued and respected? Because if you don't think you're a good person, you're most likely going to allow yourself to be in a toxic relationship and you're going to settle for less. And you're going to allow that negativity to stay and exist in your life. However, you have the power to bring in more positivity. This is your life. This is your dream life. And you have the power to remove that negativity from your life. You have the power to remove yourself from bad situations and bad people. So it's important to surround yourself with good people and positive people that will support you, that will support your dreams, and that care for you. There's a bug that touched me. And I promise you, the stronger your self-love becomes, the easier it is for you to set boundaries. And boundaries are so important because boundaries will allow you to recognize what you will and what you will not tolerate from people. I'm not saying that you should never forgive someone. I'm saying that you'll be able to set expectations for yourself. If you want to surround yourself with good people, a big part of that is believing that you deserve to be surrounded by good people because relationships will come and go in your life. Throughout life, you're going to gain friends, lose friends, but one relationship that you will forever have is the relationship with yourself. And you want to make sure it's a good one because it's a long one, but it can also be a short one. Like this life can be a long ride, but it can also be a short one. So make sure it's a good one. Make sure that ride with yourself is a good one and that you truly know yourself and understand yourself and that you connect with yourself. Because before we know it, we're going to get old. Time is going to fly by. And I don't want you to regret any relationships you had or tolerated for far too long or regret that one thing you never gave a shot. Okay, up next is family. Whether we like it or not, we all have parents. Like I mentioned before, for us to exist, two people had to come together. And maybe it is in your plans to want a family, or maybe it's not in your plan, but whether we like it or not, we all came from a family. We all came from two people that had to come together. But this section is for those who do want a family. And I'm just going to say that for those that do want a family, the relationship you have with yourself matters. Your current or future children will watch you and they will learn your traits. Kids are like sponges. They absorb everything. How they speak, how they act, they learn from their environment. Psychologically, we are heavily influenced by our environment. And that shapes us into the person we are today. Our way of life, our norms, our culture, the way we speak, the amount of self-love you have towards yourself is what you will be teaching your kids. For children who are raised by their parents, one of their biggest role models is their parents. If you're someone that's always prioritizing others, if you're constantly trying to please others and you're putting yourself last, that is what you will be teaching your kids. Because if you invest into yourself and into your family, that is also something that your kids will learn from you. Because if you're always trying to please others, during that process, you're moving further and further away from what you want because you're just trying to give other people what they want versus what you want. And during that process, it's really, really easy to lose sight of yourself. I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate for a regulated nervous system. And studies show that people who are constantly putting others in front of themselves, who are always pleasing others, always prioritizing others, those are the ones that actually have a higher chance of experiencing stress, anxiety, depression, and a dysregulated nervous system. And I would never, ever want to wish anything or anyone to have a dysregulated nervous system, because with a dysregulated nervous system, you're experiencing chronic stress. And with chronic stress, over time, that takes a toll on your physical and mental health. And from experience, a dysregulated nervous system weakens your immune system. And when your immune system weakens, it becomes that much easier to develop sicknesses and diseases. So that was a little intense right there, but it's those small daily habits that will help shape you into a better version of yourself or a worse version of yourself. I'm not saying to be completely selfish, but if you learn how to pour into your cup, you're going to teach others around you how to also pour into their cup as well. If you have a dream body or you have a physique you've always wanted, the more you practice self-love, the probability of you going after that dream body will become even higher. So not everyone will agree with this, but looks do matter. I'm not saying you have to be dressed up all the time, having the best outfit, the most expensive jewelry, shoes, etc. I'm talking about the intention that goes behind getting ready for the day and presenting yourself to others. I'm talking about the intention behind of how you take care of yourself. Because some days I'm working in my workout clothes, or some days I get fully ready. I put on blush, I do my hair. Both are completely fine, but there's something about the intention that goes behind getting ready and putting yourself together and pouring energy into yourself. That means getting ready for the day, taking care of your hygiene, moving your body, taking care of your health, nourishing yourself with healthy and good food, and doing things that make you feel good in your own skin. Because what makes you feel good is different than what makes me feel good. But you will only know what makes you feel good if you have a strong connection with yourself. How you get ready for the day is directly correlated to how productive you are for that day. And being productive is so important when it comes to getting stuff done and going after your goals and going after your dreams. And I'm not saying that you should not rest, because rest is important, but it's the mindset, the motivation, and being motivated to being productive really matters. And that is only able to happen if you pour into your cup and you care about yourself. You care about which direction you're going towards. Like, I'm sure many of us have said this before, where we're like, wow, like, I like the way they look. I want to look like that. And I'm here to tell you that it is possible. It's possible with discipline, motivation, and dedication. And it's the small daily habits, those little small mindset shifts that will help you get to that goal. Making healthy choices, eating good, investing into healthy meals and not junk food. I'm not talking about processed foods or junk food. All those small daily habits will help shape you into a better version of yourself. I personally cannot eat junk food every day. I have an autoimmune disease, and my body will start to feel the heavily processed foods, and it just becomes harder for my body to digest that food. I personally can't have too much junk food because my body will feel it. Wanting to become the healthiest, the best version of yourself, the strongest, the most confident you'll ever be or ever will become, that is an act of self-love. That dedication and that discipline that you learn when it comes to chasing after your goals or going after that dream body, those traits will help you in other parts of your life. And you're going to be able to apply that in other parts of your life. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about whether you're into the gym, Pilates, yoga, Tai Chi, any sort of physical activity or any kind of movement, you learn a lot of things and you grow during that process and that time in your life. You learn how to focus, you gain discipline, you learn consistency, and consistency really matters. And you learn how to show up even on days you don't want to show up, on days where you feel tired and you want to give up. Because it can be really easy to give up, but the stronger your self love is towards yourself, it won't be as easy to give up. Because the ability to lock in, focus, be consistent, and show up every day will allow you to become 1% better every day. And the act of self love and pouring energy into how you look isn't necessarily just about how you look, it's how you take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself isn't just about how you look. It's also about what you put into your mind and what you put into your body, what you eat, what you watch, what you listen to, and what you consume mentally and physically. The more you love yourself, the more intentional you become with what you consume, both physically and mentally, the type of content you watch, the people you surround yourself with. Just like an athlete, they have to have a super healthy diet in order to perform the best when it comes to practice and game time. It's the same way with what we eat. What we eat largely affects our mood, how we feel, our energy levels, how we think, and also how we look. Sadly, the US has a very, very high obesity rate. And being obese isn't necessarily just about being obese or fat. It's the health issues that come along with it. It's much easier to become diabetic and other health issues to arise. Just like a dysregulated nervous system, with a dysregulated nervous system, it becomes much easier to develop sicknesses and diseases. It's the same with being obese and not taking care of yourself and not taking care or being careful with what you consume. Ultimately, it isn't necessarily just about how you look, it's how you take care of yourself, how you take care of your body. And we only have one body in this lifetime. So some people will say, like, oh, but we're all going to die. True, but like, I want to live comfortably. I don't want to live in pain. I don't want to struggle to walk. I don't want to have more health issues. Like, I want to make sure it's a good one because I keep saying this, but your body is the greatest instrument you will ever have. And without your body, and if you have so many health issues, it becomes a lot harder to do other things in life. So your body is one of the greatest instruments you will ever have. By taking care of your body is one of the biggest ways of practicing self-love. So we all have to work, whether we like it or not. In order to survive, we need to work to make money. We need money to survive, to eat, to live, to exist, at least here in the US, because we live in a capitalist society, and that is the reality of living in the US. We need to make money to survive. I've learned that money makes you comfortable, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will make you happy. I promise you that life is so much more enjoyable when you work in a career that you genuinely have a passion for versus working at a job that you hate and you're miserable and you're just thinking like, wow, like I have 15, 20 years ahead of me where I have to work this job until I retire. And some people will think that they'll start living once they retire. No, your time to live is now. As you continue to practice self love, the connection with yourself becomes stronger. You become that much closer to yourself and your thoughts and your opinions, and you get a better idea of what you value, what you don't value. Again, I said this before, it will make sure that you will not settle for less. And that means not settling for a job that you're miserable in, that you hate. It is so beautiful when I see people going after a career that they love or creating a career or starting up a business that they love, that they have a passion for. Because I not recently, but there's this song. And when I first heard this song, I was like, the lyrics say something like this. Maybe I can add it into the YouTube, just like a little clip. But it says something like, let's change the definition of work and how we see work. Instead, let's say that we are here to passionately play. We are here to passionately play and create. And that is ultimately what you can do with your career. You can create a job for yourself or start this business or provide some sort of service or art that is uniquely you, that represents you in the most unique way, if that makes sense. And you are extremely unique. I am going to change the battery. From experience, little backstory, all throughout my life, I knew that I needed to get a good paying job. Like most immigrant families, parents, grandparents, to them, the US was seen as a land of opportunity to live the American dream. So I knew that I wanted a better future for myself, a better future than the previous generations in my family. I graduated high school. I went straight to a 4-year university. I graduated in 5 years and I got my first big girl job. It paid really good money. But right away, even before I started the job, even when I had my internships, I already knew I did not like the job. But I continued to stay in that career and to stay in that major because I knew that it would offer good money. It would make me comfortable. Quickly, I learned right away within the first few months of working full time that money makes you comfortable, but it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't necessarily mean it makes you happy. I was so disconnected with myself, so misaligned that I was avoiding that little voice in my head telling me, girl, you hate this job. What are you doing? You need to get out of here. And it's because my sense of self worth and my practice of self love was not strong. I was willing to just be miserable because I wanted to live comfortably. I was doing everything I possibly could to ignore that voice. Like it was bad. But your brain and your nervous system, because your brain is part of your nervous system, is a very interesting thing. Your brain is there to detect danger. My nervous system started to kick in and it became dysregulated. I quickly became super stressed. I was stressed out 24/7. And as time passed by, I developed stress, anxiety, depression, gastrointestinal issues, digestive issues, IBS, etc. My body was in constant fight or flight, that my stomach was in a knot and it was in pain 24/7, that I couldn't physically work. Even just like going on the laptop and checking my email, not work, but after hours, it would physically hurt my stomach. And it was because my nervous system was rejecting that job. It was detecting that as danger. And it was like, nope, this is too dangerous for you. This is not for you. You're not meant for this. So I'm going to stop you right there. And talking about it is like so funny. And I'm really grateful that I'm sharing this with all of you because I truly do have a passion for taking care of your body and having a regulated nervous system. So with that being said, my stress, my misalignment, and my disconnection with myself manifested into a physical sickness, which was IBS and later on an autoimmune disease. My gut health was horrible, and I do not wish poor gut health to anybody. A good, healthy gut microbiome and good gut health means a good, strong immune system and also healthy skin, like happy skin. You'd be surprised how correlated bad gut health is connected to a lot of other things. A dysregulated nervous system means a weak immune system, and a weak immune system means it becomes that much easier to develop sicknesses and other diseases. So, with all that being said, I wish you a happy, healthy body, good gut health, great skin, happiness, positive energy, and a great mindset so that you can go after a career that you love. If you don't know what to pursue in life or which career to pursue or go after, pursue yourself. Invest into yourself because the more you do that, the better you will get to know yourself. And you'll learn more about who you are and what you represent and your identity. The vision you have for your life and your career and which direction you want to move towards to will become that much clearer and stronger. And that voice of doubt is going to go away. And there's going to be another voice telling you, no, you can do this. You're going to make shit happen. The better you get to know yourself, the better your future will be. I really thought I was going to make this YouTube video under 15 minutes. No, it's been a long one. Lastly, we've talked a lot about goals, but I want to talk about it one last time. Goals are also so attractive. It's so attractive when someone I know has goals, whether it's a friend, a family member. It just makes you seem that much more elevated, if that makes sense. Like, wow, like she has goals. Good for her. You go, girl. I just want to say that if you're in a good place right now and you're happy with your current situation, it's okay to want more, because if you want more, that just means you're growing, because the circle of life literally shows that you're constantly growing, evolving, and changing. It's okay to want more because that doesn't mean you're not happy. It can actually mean that you are grateful for your current situation. And I think gratitude is very important because with gratitude, it makes life that much more enjoyable. But wanting more is just another form of self growth. So if you're in the same spot for so many years, that probably just means you're not growing and your life is a little stagnant. And that is why I also appreciate movement, because movement helps move stagnation within our body, within our lives, within our homes, within our safe spaces. It's good to move around the stagnation. It helps get things going. And goals for some people can be intimidating because you're not sure if it's going to work out or not. If you have these goals and you're doubting, don't let that eat you up. With goals, it's really easy to doubt. We all experience doubt in some way, shape, or form. It's natural, it's human nature to have doubt. But the more you think you won't be able to do it or go after those goals, the probability of you not doing it is going to be that much higher, because it's a practice. Just like your muscles, the more you use your muscles, the stronger they will become. So is your brain. Your brain is a muscle. And it's all a mindset when it comes to going after your dreams and chasing your goals. Self-love is a practice in the brain. Your brain is a muscle, and the more you practice overcoming fear, the easier it becomes for you to overcome fear in other parts of your life. And if you didn't know, your amygdala, which is a part of the brain, is what allows you to feel and sense fear. For some people, the amygdala is super hyperactive, more than other people. And because the amygdala is super hyperactive for some people, that's essentially what stops us. That is when we stop ourselves from doing whatever we want to do, like we want to do it, but we're scared to. But if you look at it from an outside lens, sometimes our fear is a lot larger in our own head than other people. That's why sometimes, like, some people are rooting for you. Let's say as a kid, you're trying to jump a puddle, but you're scared. And your mom is like, no, you can do it. Or your parents or your dad is like, no, you can do it. You can do it. But to you as a baby or as a kid, it was such a large fear in your head. But to others on the outside world, it's not as big as you think. And that's how it is sometimes when we face these fears. It's a lot bigger in our head than we think. And so that is why it's all a practice. The practice of self-love, the practice of overcoming fear, the practice of overcoming doubt is all connected to the art of practicing self-love, because you're going to trust yourself and you're going to be confident enough that you can do it. It's all a practice. It's not going to happen overnight. The ability to overcome fear is not going to happen overnight. You start small, and with time, you go bigger and bigger with those acts of overcoming fear. And with time, it's going to be second nature. Why do you think some people that are constantly jumping out of planes, it's so much easier for them to do other things similar to that, where they're like super high energy, adrenaline kicking in. It's because they've done it so many times in their life that it becomes second nature. So I'm here to tell you that I'm rooting for you. You can do this. If you have goals, this career, this dream house that you've always wanted, but you're doubting yourself, you can do this. It's not going to happen overnight, but little by little, with small daily habits, you'll get there. I believe in you. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself. Thank you so much for watching. This was way longer than I expected. I really hope that this helps you in any way, shape, or form. I hope that this motivates you to build that relationship with yourself, to go after your dreams and chase your goals. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I love you so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Sending you lots of love, happiness, and abundance.